You may disagree, but up to me, it's a fact. You're paying running backs, it ain't no fun in that. Yeah, the sermon about to start, so I hope you know your stats. And if Kev get it wrong, then Rashad gon' have his back with the facts. Matter of fact, all we do is say wins. When wings, congregation say amen. Trades, debates, wins, losses, the latest news, bruh. Prophet Kev speak, he got him saying hallelujah.
Welcome to Preach Kev Preach with Rashad. We are the prophets. Here another episode, another sermon coming at you from Wild Card Sports here on Wild Card TV. Rashad, what's going on, bro?
Shoot, man, just trying to avoid this crazy spring, man. The weather starting to heat up, but the pollen going crazy, bro. Had to start by putting the mask on from the house to the car.
Hey, now it's, last year you had do I have the flu or do I have COVID? Now it's like, bro, stop sneezing, bro. You tripping. You need to get away from me. But it's all pollen and stuff like that. So I did see the bees coming out. So yeah, it's about that time. It's about that time. Yeah,
man, the pollen, man. Normally it get me once, at least one time. But so far, I'm good right now. It's good last year. The last couple years I've been good, but normally it get me at some point. So I'm just trying to take all precautions. Not have a sinus infection, not have COVID or nothing. I'm trying to stay safe out here, man.
Got to. I'm about to say everybody continue to wear your mask wherever you go. Because getting a little hectic for me. I'm doing a little traveling this month and a little bit next month. So, my mask gonna be on 24/7. So you're not gonna catch me slipping out here. Hey, who had a crazier week? The truth being on Instagram Live and getting fired from ESPN or your boy Usher with his own the Usher Bucks out there, the Usher card. Who had a crazier week, man?
I don't think neither one of them did anything bad. I'm not. For the jokes, it's funny, but I'm not tripping off. Yeah, I'm not tripping off either one just because of Paul Pierce was doing what I won't say every, but a lot of adult males do. They have adult entertainment. They were getting massages. Whether it's legal in your state, whether it's legal in your state or not, people partake. In a little Mary Jane, you can tell he was probably a little drunk too. He was just doing what
everybody do behind the scenes.
He was doing adult males do. The only thing that really got him was he was on IG Live with it, and if you really want to think about it, only 300 something people was on the IG Live. It's just the aftermath.
Everybody screen recording.
People start screen recording.
That's what get you at.
It hits Twitter, it hits Facebook, ESPN's this Disney company, whatever. So it turns into what it turns into. But Paul ain't tripping. He can go to Fox Sports. Fox Sports has Shannon on TV early in the morning with a bottle of brown
whiskey, right? Here to see what we got.
So he can go to Fox Sports. Bill Simmons is a huge Celtics guy. He loved Paul. He can go join the Ringer. Paul had offers.
He got the canned soda.
He is not. He made millions during his career. Yeah. And he definitely will not be lacking for a new job right now. He's good. He wouldn't have did that if he would have just needed the money. Right. Granted, he didn't. Who knows, man? He could have been thinking about leaving ESPN anyway because he put up a video he wasn't tripping at all.
All right. I'm about to say, and then speaking of confessions, with Usher, boy, he got some explaining to do about the little Usher, but I thought that was hilarious though. But yeah, he just living. They both just living. I thought the Usher one was hilarious, but I guess some people, it depends on who you are, don't find it as funny as I do, especially the jokes, because they been killing me.
If you work there,
you pissed. You pissed off.
And you finally get the chance to step off the platform, and you think, I done made bank. Then you see dude face on this counterfeit money, this play money, monopoly money. So you can't do anything with that. But to me, it's a cool little joke. He probably just having fun himself.
Yeah, that's it. That's
free night at the club.
Free night at the club, but that's just funny. All right, so we missed last week, but we back this week with a good episode for y'all. So we're gonna go a little round table through the NBA real quick. updating our MVP race, because honestly, it's a lot of people who had the rights to say that they're the MVP. With a lot of people getting hurt, a lot of people, teams falling off, but now they're back, or vice versa. So, as we go through the list, at the end of the show, we'll probably do like a little top 5 for each list to say who our MVP is right now. With maybe 20 some games left of the season. I think about 20 games.
Depending on what team it is.
So about how Rashad said before, like he like to view teams in 20 increments. So we got this last home stretch of 20 games. So it's probably relevant to go ahead and talk about the last run of the MVP race. Who really has that last stretch out, right? So let's just start in the West, bro. Utah Jazz. I just want to talk about them for a second, because the only guy they got is really Mitchell, and the Jazz have been playing a great style of basketball this whole season. I love Quinn Snyder. Rudy Gobert, one of the best, defensive big men in the league. You got Mitchell, who's up and coming all-star in his league. The thing about the Jazz, bro, I'm glad that this whole best player, best team thing is not going to hold true to this one. Because one, he's in Utah. They both got picked last in the All-Star game, so that already tells you, like, the view, you know what I'm saying? That already tells you the views of how they see him, right? But I think the Jazz is probably more of a complete team. Like, everybody has their role, and they're great at their role, whatever their role is. Because when you're talking about a lot of, you go around the league to different teams, talk about their big 3 or big 4, like, they all can do a lot of different things, right? You talk about Mitchell. What's his best thing, though? Scoring, facilitating. Gobert, best thing, rebound, defending. Like, usually a 1 and 2 can do a little bit of everything, and this team is not that kind of team. They got one thing. Like, Mitchell scores, Gobert, you play defense. So, is there a reason why? Another reason why you think Mitchell? Like, I guess when you talk about being voted, like, why he's going to be left off, because he is having a great year. But and they have the best record in the league. So, what other reasons can you give me, man? Why Mitchell not getting no love?
Oh, I mean, just numbers-wise, he's not really overwhelming you numbers-wise. And, it's Utah. I mean, 26, 4, and 5, those are great numbers. But just as far as the team, Goldberg's only one-sided. He may win Defensive Player of the Year.
Hell no. Ben Simmons,
I mean, I think they're going to win something,
something sticks, man. Coach of the Year. They got yeah.
Yeah, I think they're gonna take home 1 award for sure, maybe 2. But MVP won't be one of them. Mitchell is, I mean, he's great, but I don't think he's in like that superstar mode. Like, I don't even know if we can really lock him in as a top 20 player in the game, honestly. So you're not gonna win MVP unless he was putting up 38 and 8 or something.
That's fair. That's fair.
It'd have to be something crazy. I mean, he made All-Star back-to-back years and stuff like that. But MVP consideration, he's not in that. They're just more of a good team having a good regular season. Gobert may win Defensive Player of the Year. Ben Simmons making a strong push all year on that. Miles Turner still up there in the block, so they might be your top 3. So Rudy may win another one. He may not. Snyder's gonna be up there for Coach of the Year, but does he win that? Who knows? You got the Monty Williams thing in Phoenix. A couple of the guys doing good jobs around the league. I mean, Doc Rivers. So he may or may not win Coach of the Year. I think Jordan Clarkson's locked in at 6th man.
Yep,
but
definitely.
So I think they'll definitely win that. But the other awards, they're going to be in the mix, but I can't lock them in for that. But good team. But when you're looking at just how seeding is shaking out right now, I don't think they'll be favored in the second round because Denver and Lakers are the 4 or 5. So I think if seeding staying the way it is, granted, Denver just lost Murray. They might be able to beat Denver without Murray.
Right.
But if Lakers are healthy with AD, Bron, Drummond, Schroeder, and all those guys, I mean, you might be the 1 seed and get bounced out second round just because of seeding and matchups.
Yeah, I'm about to say, it's crazy because, like, when you look at the West and you go through all the names, it's like somebody not making it past second round. Like, one of them going home first round. Like, as far as, like, the top 7 are pretty good teams. Yeah. So, like,
like when you look at 1 through 8, you always look at, all right, I see, you can see 1 through 8, and you be like, man, I think 5 of these teams, 6 of these teams are really good, but you got to think about only 4 of y'all can advance. So you're going to lose about half the field. You're losing half the field right there.
Right there, that's pretty tough. All right, so we talk about Utah. So let's go and move off them because, like I said, you're right about the being up for every single award except MVP is probably them. Like 6-man, Coach of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year. They're gonna be up for everyone. And Gobert and Mitchell, they might make 13 All NBA. Like I think Mitchell can because they're gonna reward winning at some point. Like if they stay the best team in the league, they'll probably give it to him. That's just what we saw. Even the Warriors back in the day, they got all like 3 of them on there, and the Hawks 4 guys made the All-Star team. So it's possible, but
it depends how they grade the guard play. Because I think I got a lot Harden in as a All NBA guard. So we're gonna say it's 6 spots. I think you got a lot Harden in, you got a lot Dame in. He's leading the league in scoring still, so you got to assume Bill may make one.
Curry.
You got to look at Curry, Kyrie. They kind of grade Luka as a guard.
I would say if Luka's a guard, then if you're saying Luka's a guard, then he's probably on there too. So that's already what 5, 6.
he made All-Star as a guard, so you got to assume that.
This next guy won
like offensively, numbers wise. They don't want to throw Ben in there, but I think when you look at complete package, Ben Mitchell could be a debate. I think you got to throw Chris Paul in there in MVP consideration and guard play. His teammate D Book.
Maybe
Jaylen Brown. Yeah, Jaylen Brown technically play guard. And then you got to look at how they go.
My boy D Fox, somebody better recognize me.
Trae Young, the Hawks started balling lately, and Trae Young numbers were there for All-Star consideration, but the team was down bad, so he didn't make it. But now that they 4 games,
I would say
over 500,
it's a lot of good guards.
He got the numbers. So that guard spot gonna be
because you also leaving out because you ain't mentioned Russ and what he I know they're not winning, but what he's doing.
Night in
night out. That's just crazy.
Yeah, I think Russ runs All NBA might be over, honestly.
And then you talk about complete package. I'm just mentioning guys, so we won't leave nobody out. But just a complete package, I feel like a Drew Holiday. Like when you talk about like his impact on Milwaukee, I think he won't get it, but I feel like he still deserves some kind of like recognition on that. But you said somebody who might make and to keep it one Usher with you, Chris Paul, bro. Like Suns. This team is dominating right now, 38-15. The team is 8-0 in the bubble, right? So I think that's different. Like the bubble is completely separate from the last season, in my opinion, last regular season. And what Chris Paul has done, like impact wise, what he's done in New Orleans / Charlotte Pelicans, whatever you want to call it, what he did in LA for the Clippers. What he did for Houston, what he did for OKC last year, where you didn't think they made the playoffs at all, and here they were.
Oh no, they were. I think everybody thought they were tanking.
Exactly. That's why they had to trade Chris Paul. Like, oh hell no. And then what he doing for Phoenix now? That I don't know. I feel like hit me up, Rashad. I think Chris Paul should go to a different team every year, and see if he can rise them out of the ashes. Like send Chris Paul to Minnesota next year. Let's see what happens. Like send Minnesota to Detroit, Chris Paul to Detroit and see what happens.
I think that'll be fun from a fan perspective.
Right, of course.
But I don't think that'll be good for him or his family.
Of course not. Yeah. But if you can see, I saw somebody post this. Somebody said Chris Paul is kind of like what's the famous chef name that goes around the other restaurants and save them.
For sure. He definitely come in and critique and fix it up. He's never not made the playoffs everywhere he's been.
Right.
Hornets, Clippers, Rockets, Thunder. He on the Suns now. They in the 2 spot. He's never not made the playoffs. Like with every franchise he's been with. So this is his 5th franchise. And
impact is crazy, bro.
So you thinking about. They say point guard. He know what he's doing. Like he controlled the game from every aspect. He's a thinker. Impact wise, from our era, you got to think outside of LeBron, he's probably had the 2nd most impact out of anybody. Because wherever LeBron goes, when winning follows. Wherever Chris Paul is going, winning has
Follow.
followed.
Yeah.
Because the Rockets didn't get to the West Finals until he got there, and they could have probably
they
made
would've won if he didn't get hurt.
title run if he didn't get hurt. So
Right, exactly.
that's there. Like the Clippers had some of their best years. Well, all their best years with Chris Paul. I mean, and then like the Hornets, Pelicans, however were classified. I think they were still Hornets at that time, because of all the Katrina stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he did a heck of a thing with them. They were making some solid playoff runs, and he was up for the MVP in 2008. He finished second to Kobe. With the Clippers in 2012 and 2013, he was like third or fourth. So, everybody's going to say this year, numbers-wise, he probably shouldn't be considered. 16 points, 8 assists, almost a 50-49 season. He's at 48, 36, and 93. So, kind of behind on it, but he, based upon many games left, he probably couldn't get there. But that's not too far off from a 50, 40, 90.
It just,
the numbers aren't, the glowing, crazy numbers aren't there, but the impact on the court, off the court, on the team, defensively, the IQ, like he took a team that had to play in the bubble, went 8 on the bubble, but that's been the Suns have been dead since the Steve Nash era, and now they're basically back.
And why? Why? Because Chris Paul, right? I think, and what you see from Devin Booker, bro, a more efficient player. Ayton is involved, like. And I always talk about, like, bro, they gave Chris Paul Devin Booker. Imagine if they gave him Kobe Bryant. Like that will always sit with me. Like, and I've let that go. Because I understand what the reason why they rescind the trade. But you see how dynamic he is with a 2-guard who can get the who put the ball in the basket with James Harden, Western Conference Finals appearance, and with Devin Booker. Like, and they're the 2 seed, and can they have that magical run? And I'm thinking, with the way the seeding standing is now, if they avoid Lakers in the first 2 rounds, they're in the conference finals. Like, I feel like they have the opportunity to beat the Clippers. Will they? Will they not? I don't know. But I feel like they have the chance. They have the guy to lead the ship if that's the case in Chris Paul. So the Suns are having a great season, man. You talk about Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson coming on strong this season. And that, like, Ayton is showing signs, man. He's showing signs. I don't know if he can stay consistent, but he's showing signs. And you're talking about a Clippers Suns matchup when it comes down to it. Then we know they can't guard Devin Booker, but like if Ayton can control the front court battle, it could be a long series, right? So projecting forward for the Suns, man, I feel like Chris Paul deserves a lot of love for the MVP. And we talk about Devin Booker deserving some love on an All-NBA team if he had the chance. Because remember the arguments that me and you had a while back about Devin Booker versus this guy or this guy. We always say, well, they got 20 wins the whole season. Like, but so now
winning always
right. So now we can
against Booker.
Right. So now we can take that out because he's winning, and what people are not going to say. People are going to say is like, because if you knock Chris Paul, if you knock him for not scoring, then you can't knock Devin Booker for like having Chris Paul. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody was like, oh well, he got Chris Paul on the team, that's why he winning. Well, you just said Chris Paul ain't scoring no points, so who's scoring the points, right? So that's Devin Booker. So I feel like you can't have that argument both ways. So if anybody is arguing that, please stop it because your logic is you're killing it right there. So anyway, the Suns deserve love. Let's move on to another team. Denver,
and by the way, Clippers have beat the Suns both times this year they played, and you got to think
easily,
about
low key, easily on low,
and you got to think about on the other side, Rondo is a good little chess match for Chris.
That is
Paul,
a chess match. So I think
IQ wise,
I think Clippers probably have solved that issue, and if you're picking a series, I'm definitely picking Clippers. That's because Suns are way too inexperienced for this, but. If I'm gonna ride with somebody, I'm gonna ride with Chris Paul. You know what I mean? Like that's just how it is.
I mean, I wouldn't bet if I had somebody said feet to the fire, make a bet who you gonna take. I'd probably take the Clippers.
Right.
But I mean, inexperience don't mean nothing. Like this, Chris Paul just took OKC to Game 7 with the Rockets last year.
That's
and
fair.
Won it.
That's fair.
I mean, bubble or not.
Yo, I think that series going 7. Yeah, I think that series will go 7 though. We might stay in LA with the Clippers. Talk about them. Kawhi Leonard. Paul George, they're having a great season so far as well. I think they're on the biggest win streak so far through the season. Even with Paul George and Kawhi taking turns sitting out, so that's pretty impressive. I think their problem was like not being healthy throughout the season. Like Ibaka's missing games. They traded away Lou Will, got Rondo. Now Rondo's back and getting in shape and getting his form back. Pat Bev is still missing games, stuff like that. But you know, I don't think Kawhi is going to be in the MVP category, neither with Paul George. But what they're doing together as a duo is still impressive. They're gonna be a problem, whoever plays them, because nobody else in the league has this dynamic duo as far as wing power. And you know, when we talk about wings, you don't really see it that often. Like, you don't see 2-star wings. I mean, we saw it with Jordan and Pippen in the 90s. It's trying to think of another one. I guess what's another good one? Joe Johnson and Sean Marion. Like, you can't even think of two good you know what I'm saying, like two all-star wings. So
I mean,
Tatum and Brown,
like two-way. Yeah,
especially two-way. So Tatum and Brown are your only competition as far as that. So the Clippers are playing good this season, man. I don't know about Kawhi being MVP race, but you know, we talk about the all NBA teams, definitely still one of the best players. I just feel like sometimes we forget about the Clippers sometimes, and they always gonna be there with as long as Kawhi and Paul George there.
I mean, I think this is probably the best thing for the Clippers to kind of be show me in the playoffs, like kind of flying under the radar, because it's late. It's Jazz #1 seed. What can Chris Paul and the Suns do? What Lakers are defending champs when they get healthy? What can they do? Before merger of the night, people were kind of saying, "Oh, the Aaron Gordon move pushed Denver back into potential West Finals run, stuff like that." So the Clippers have kind of just been under the radar. They're still doing the load management thing. They changed the coach. They got some bad pieces out. Brought in some, so Montrezl is gone, Lou Will is gone. Only person kind of remaining from that old Clippers regime is Pat Bev. You got in Rondo, Paul George having a great year. Kawhi probably not MVP race, just because of he's gonna fall in that same category as Embiid and LeBron of games missed. I think he's at 45 out of 55 right now, and he's gonna miss the game today against the Pacers. Mm-hmm. I think it's the Pacers today. So so you know, it's
a play. You know,
the numbers are there: 26, 6, and 5, and
he's balling.
I mean, he's always efficient. He's always going to be close to 50% shooting the ball, about 85% from the line. So he's always going to be efficient. It's just he's not. I want to say he's not a regular season player. He's just not a 72, 82 game regular season player. He's going to play.
But he gonna play them playoffs.
Some back to backs he gonna play. Some he's not. He's more of a when it's time to really show up and I gotta go back to backs. I can do that.
I think another piece that they're going to need. I'm not gonna say X factor because it's not like they need him to win games, but I feel like what would you call it? What's another word for it? Not X factor? What's another word for it? I guess a key role player or whatever is Luke Kennard. I feel like. You bring him in the game 6'7", who had ability to knock down shots from anywhere on the floor. I think with alongside with Paul George and Kawhi, like letting Paul George run the point guard kind of like, and Kawhi, or even going small with Kawhi at the 4. I feel like putting Kennard there is going to help them, a lot, because if you got Rondo, Ibaka, George, and Kawhi on the court, do you really need Kennard to play defense too? Like you get what I'm saying? Like, he don't need to play no lockdown. Defending. So I think Luke Kennard could be that X factor going forward. Not X factor, key role player in the playoffs. Because when he plays, he put up 9 shots. He probably can get double-digit points off that. So I think everybody should watch out for Luke Kennard and also watch out for the Rondo addition too as well.
Yeah, they're a pretty solid team. Like, I think the main thing they're looking for is, they're going to just need the Rondo to control the court and just the floor spacing. Like, I always try to look at like what's going to be somebody's potential closing lineup, or like what's your best thing like matchup wise. So we know Kawhi and Paul George going to be on the floor at all times, like in a closing 5. So now it's like, are you going more scoring with Reggie Jackson, or are you going more IQ set us up Rondo at your other guard spot? Are you going to go Batum? Or you're gonna go Kennard for, that's an offense defense trade off. I think Serge got to be out there no matter what. Serge can knock down the mid.
Serge got to be in there. Yes.
He played defense. He switched everything. So I think you got to go Serge no matter what. So Serge, Kawhi, and Paul, but not the other 2 spots. Like, Or do you go Morris? Like, who do you go in the
Marcus
other
Morris
spots?
Marcus Morris a nice spot too. Yeah. So you got. I think that's what you need.
Pat Bev. Do you go him to irritate somebody? Like, what do you?
You gotta have, but you gotta have that versatility though. If you want to win a championship, you gotta be able to. What we say about college basketball, like having different styles to win a game because you're playing the Lakers. Gotta go big, right? You might have to go. You might have to go Zubac and Ibaka at the 5-4, like just to pair with Drummond and Davis. Like you might have to do that.
Yeah. You got to figure
Right.
out something to match up. And
Right.
I mean, I think if you had a Drummond Davis matchup because he's long and tough, like you could probably go Ibaka against Drummond and Morris against AD. He can kind of
Finesse game too.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, he probably couldn't contest all his shots, but he can kind of still try to push him out the paint a little bit, or
Right.
at least Davis can just blow by him on like from the 3 to the hoop or something like that. So
Right.
you will have some versatility, but I think their main thing is just like who's gonna always be like they're closing out, because you went and got Rondo to set the offense up. So if he's on the floor when you need a clutch basket or clutch possession,
Who's gonna do it?
Rondo's not really the offensive guy. So like if you kind of just say we're gonna stick the ball in Kawhi or Paul George's hands the last 3-4 minutes, like as the point guard to run everything, you kind of didn't solve your problem, because the whole point was to get somebody to take the ball out their hands so they could both be free to roam around and get to their spot versus coming up the court and always having the eyes locked on them.
Right. So let's just stay in LA with the Lakers. We know LeBron James probably would have won MVP if he stayed healthy. I think they said he's still maybe a couple games, maybe a couple weeks still away before returning. And then Davis had hinted at mid-April for his comeback. So the Lakers team actually, up and down without LeBron. I think they're pretty much playing that 500 ball. I can't remember the game that he got hurt in, but I mean they've been playing pretty much 500 basketball. They lost to the Hawks without LeBron, lost to the Suns, lost to the Pelicans, but then they beat the Cavs, beat the Magic, competed against the Heat the other night, beat the Nets surprisingly, got blown out by the Knicks. So they going up and down. I think they're on their last road trip before they're heading back home. But the next, I'm just gonna name their games. They play the Hornets. They play the Hornets on Tuesday. For everybody watching the show, they play the Hornets on Tuesday. They play Boston, Jazz twice, Mavericks twice. Before you go on this run where you might get LeBron or Davis back, and you got Magic, Wizards, and Kings, and those teams. The Kings up and down, the Wizards up and down. They can beat Lakers without LeBron and AD easily. So, this team, man, that I think they're the X factor of the playoffs, because where they fall or land as a seeding is going to change the whole dynamic of the playoffs. Like they can be a 7 seed, do the play-in game, win that, and then now you're a 7. And if you're a 2 seed, the Suns, okay, now I got to play the Lakers. That's like at the round 1. I mean, I'm sorry. In round 1, you got to play Lakers round 1. Like now, I'm going home possibly if they healthy, right? So the Lakers, we know that Davis out for MVP, and LeBron's out for MVP. So do LeBron James still make that first team All NBA, or you think they give it up to somebody else because he gonna miss what 20, 25, 30 games?
I don't think he'll miss that many. I mean, he's at 41 out of 54 right now.
So 13.
It's only 18 games left, so he's gonna come back. I think LeBron will probably come back with about 8 to 10 games left, 8 to 10 left. So he'll probably end up
That's
playing.
Thorn brewing.
Yeah, like he'll probably end up playing 50 to 52 out of the 72. So he'll miss about 20, but he's not normally injured. But I think that's just something they kind of thinking about. We're gonna just take all precautions.
And he could be rested.
Boy. That'll be back-to-back years. At an age and body with hella playoff miles, you getting 2 years back to back. You just getting a mid-season rest. Granted, this time it's because of a ankle injury, but you give a guy like this time to rest. I mean, his mind is gonna stay sharp when he come back. All he gotta do is just kind of get his legs and timing back.
Yeah.
Because roughly 20 something games, 13 right now, but miss a few more, about 20 games. That's a lot of games to kind of miss. And you've added pieces like Drummond to gel, so you need time to gel with, all right, these different lineups, these different schemes, because now as you're out, guys get their confidence up, and they kind of feel like, hey, I can do this too.
Right.
So, they're going to have to figure out their lineup situation too. Are they going to play big, Drummond, Davis, Bron, Kuzma, Schroeder. Do you swap out Drummond for Montrez, let AD play the 5 closing, or just the matchup? Is it like a Jazz type matchup?
Same thing with the Clippers. Yeah, you got so many advantages. Yeah.
Yeah, if they play like the Jazz, they probably can't play by one big because Gobert, and then you got
Bogdanovich and Ingles at 4 and 5. I mean 4 and 3. Yeah, so
everybody else roaming around, shoot off screens trying to shoot. So you probably can't go Trez and a Drummond. You gotta spread it out with Bron, Kuzma, KCP, something like that. So they have the pieces to play
in the style
against any team. It's just a matter of the seeding and guys' health because this Nuggets thing. I feel like now the 4 spot is back open again.
Yeah, because
like if they stumble a little bit, you could be looking at Lakers, Blazers 4 or 5, where somebody else. We still got time left. You don't wish injury upon anybody, but there's still time left. But somebody else could get hurt. Yeah. Something could swap up. Like Suns, Clippers both at 37-38 wins. Now loss column different, but 37-38 wins. They could flop 2-3 seed. It's a lot of stuff still in play.
Yeah.
But the Lakers, they're the one who really just throw a wrench in a lot of stuff. Because one of Shaq and Kobe's teams did it. They were like the 4 or 5 seed and ran to the title.
Like just imagine any scenario. Like I said, Lakers fall into 7. Oh, now the Suns got to play them. Or the Lakers probably won't fall to 8. But like the Lakers being a 4, now you got to play the Blazers, like you said, Blazers Lakers. Like, how pissed off I'm being if I'm Dame. Like, I can't get no breaks. Like, I always got to play the best team in the league every time. Like, or even Luke got to go through Clippers last night, go through Lakers first round. I mean, it's the hand you dealt, so you can't get mad at it. But it just like you said, the Lakers are going to throw any wrench into anybody's plans this offseason. I mean, in the playoffs, because it's just such an up and down year, and for both stars to get hurt, like that's for a long period of time too. The Lakers should be careful with Anthony Davis, though. I don't believe now you may disagree with me. I don't believe the Lakers need Anthony Davis to beat anybody but the Clippers. Like, I think they can beat anybody else in the West.
I don't know.
In a series. Because now without Jamal Murray, right? The Suns, your best players are Devin Booker and Chris Paul. Like, you don't like who you taking? Ayton or Drummond? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm taking Drummond all day long with not even thinking about it. Like, Montrezl Harrell and Drummond is fine against Ayton. Like, I'm pretty confident saying that. Can Crowder defend LeBron? He has experience, but can he really do it? Your best 2 players can't. Devin Booker and Chris Paul can't. So, and then you talk about Jazz. And a lot of people don't believe in Jazz, and Jazz have a good team, but they don't have nobody to stop LeBron. So, I'm just saying, like, everybody but the Clippers. Like, I think. So they should be patient. I think Davis shouldn't rush back because you don't want to mess up your next year, right? Trying to just win it all again, like and he tears Achilles or something like that. So they gotta be careful with him as well.
I just think that's a fair point, but it's still like, I mean, LeBron he always has been in shape, but just what if he starts slow, or it's just not going the series.
But I think
that Davis body.
But that's why you got like a pick and roll game with Schroeder and Drummond should work. Like Schroeder and Montrezl Harrell should, like, as far as offense, like if you're talking about if you need something to go, and I think that's why this whole LeBron not leaning on LeBron, not leaning on AD as much is helping the Lakers in the long run because. You can afford. Oh, LeBron, you need some rest. Come on, sit down. As long as I got Schroeder, Drummond out there, we can ball. Like Kuzma, we can ball out. Like I think that's the whole purpose of, like, even with the Clippers too. Like that's the whole purpose of, like, Kawhi can sit out. Oh, okay, Marcus Morris. Okay, Rondo, you run the offense. Kennard, get your shots up. Like that's what the whole point of being deep and being versatile, like, comes into play. So I think I can stand behind that. Outside the Clippers, I think they can beat anybody else in a 7-game series. So I'm just saying be patient with Davis because I don't want you to bring him back and he get hurt again, and then now you can't get ready for next season because injuries can happen. Like you said, anytime. Denver Nuggets just lost Jamal Murray for the season. So any hopes of them, I think that just takes them out of the Western Conference picture, in my opinion. Like Jokic having
Denver's probably done for the next 2 years, like, because he's hurt in April. If the season come back on time, he's not gonna be ready in October.
Now he won't be, but I think Denver is a good enough team to where they can with as long as you have Jokic, he can right the storm to where you're always gonna make the playoffs. And if he comes back, you talking about Michael Porter Jr., who has the ability right now to become an all-star player now. Because there's no Jamal Murray to lean on. There's no Jamal Murray that's going to be there. And who else you got? You traded R.J. Hampton away, who could have been your potential replacement. You traded away Gary Harris, who be hurt anyway. But now all your best players are all in the front court. So what are you going to do? So now Michael Porter Jr., you have the opportunity right now to turn up, become an all-star, to become the guy who we thought you was coming out of high school to be. So I think it's kind of a blessing in disguise for Denver because now you're talking about a possibly big three when they come back. And if he can get the all-star caliber player, like if he turns to Jaylen Brown and then Jamal Murray comes back, that's all you want from Denver. And because you have to, you're not going to, nobody going to sign to Denver. So so you're going to have to hope that Michael Porter Jr. become an all-star. Because
I like them a lot, but I'm not locking them in for next year. Not yet. I mean, it's just,
playoffs?
They have too many ifs. It's too many ifs for that.
As far as locking them in for playoffs?
For a lot of stuff. I mean,
winning a championship? No. Conference finals? No. But I think they make playoffs. I think they're still more talented than the Mavericks and the Grizzlies.
I mean, I'm still not gonna lock them in for that. It's a lot.
I understand.
Murray does a lot for their team.
Oh, of course.
And then Porter Jr., I like him a lot. But he leaves something to be desired on the defensive end and stuff like that. And
Got a long way to go there.
You just start thinking about how the Suns got Chris Paul and came out of nowhere. So you got to think about in the off season, so many moves could happen where another team can just jump up in the West out of nowhere, or look at the Warriors.
I'm about to say that's the only team to me that can really pop out.
That's a 500 team around that, and they granted we don't know how Clay gonna come back, 2 leg injuries, who knows, but you got to always kind of anticipate that
Clay
being
potential
having been the last couple of years, they could do something. You got to still think about. All right, Zion's made his leap. We don't know what stance the guy yet. We don't know what the Pelicans gonna do yet, but they could make a little. They could make a little move.
They're gonna have to make a trade. They got to make a trade to get them over there.
Yeah, you got to still think about just certain teams like the draft. What if the somebody in the West that's a piece or two away lands Cade Cunningham, or somebody makes a trade. You got guys like DeMar who's on the Spurs who could go to somebody in the West and kind of shift the balance. It's just certain things because Murray's gonna be out this playoff. I mean, he'll be back.
He'll be back. He should be back in 9 months. So we're talking about January, February,
and even that's still risky because you don't want to bring guys.
Right. Well, you got to bring. So he probably won't be Jamal Murray until the next year playoffs if they make it. So, I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right about on that note because a lot of things can happen. I think just looking ahead, it's really only one team to me that can make a resurgence as far as what they got, and that's the Warriors. So, speaking of Warriors, shout out Steph Curry for being a franchise player, franchise leading scorer all time, passing Wilt Chamberlain. That's pretty amazing. But he got a long list of things that he done. He's gonna be top 10 in scoring probably. He's gonna be number 1 3-point list. He's gonna be.
I don't think he'll get top 10 in scoring. Not all.
You think
time.
So?
All time, no. All time, he only
he made too many threes. He gonna climb it pretty fast, pretty fast.
Curry been in the league Curry was an 09 draft, so I mean we're at 12 years. He only had 17,000. Even if you make it to 20 years.
Well, you're talking about somebody who can score 2,000 a year easily. Now this year kind of bullshit because you missing 10 games. So on a regular, on a regular NBA year, but if you're averaging what's the number real quick? If we had to do the calculations real quick. So if you're averaging 25 for a season, 82 games, that's 2,000.
He's only had 2,000 points one time, and that was the 2016 season. So I can't even lock him in for a full 2,000.
All right, so 17. So this is say 17. Let's do
17, 18.
Let's do 1750 for the next. How old is he? About 31.
Curry's 32.
32. So what? He probably gonna last. The way the NBA is going.
Matter of fact, he's 33. His birthday was in March.
So yeah, he's pretty old as fuck. All right, so let's say what 6 years? He probably, cause I mean, he's gonna be smart. He's not gonna lose 3-point shot no time soon. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So
like,
he's gonna add. Okay, so he's gonna.
He already lost 2 years.
Yeah, that's true. So he's gonna add. Let's say if he adds 10,000, what number would he be at right now if he adds 10,000?
That's 27. That's right there.
What number is that?
Where Melo's at, and that's probably still.
So top 15. So I should say top 15 instead. Okay, I'll say top 15. Top 20. Top 20 safe now. If I can say top 20, right? Top 20 safe.
Probably, he can probably get top 20
okay.
as long as he don't hang it up early or get injured.
Shouldn't hang it up early.
Because I mean, you got to think about the last couple of years. All right, I think his ankle thing happened in 2012ish, and then he missed last year. He missed other year with a messed up hand, and then one of the KD years he missed about 30-something games. But so I mean, he's lost 2.5 years. I give
him top 20, probably top 15. He should. But shout out to Curry. It won't be in my MVP race, but we did talk about him being in the All NBA category. Shout out to Dame Lillard as well. I feel like he should be in the MVP discussion. A lot of people leaving him out for what he's done with the injuries that they're faced with no Nurkic, no CJ McCollum for a while. They traded Gary Trent away. Melo has been iffy this season. You bring on Norman Powell to help you out. So, they've been up and down this season as well. But I feel like Dame should be considered. He's one of the best, top 11 players in the league. No debate about that. In my book, I'm taking him over any point guard. But I feel like Dame should be mentioned, and we also got to mention Luka, man, who we thought was going to come in and be the MVP this season. He put on MVP numbers still. They are the 7th seed. Low key, a little more comfortable than they were way back when they was, chasing the Spurs and all that kind of stuff. So those 3 guys, man, having great individual seasons. Can't leave out Zion in the West as well. I feel like he's balling out, but scoring 30 points with ease. Like this is a guy that you got to watch him play. Like he just doing a lot. So those 4 guys, man, are playing exceptional basketball. It's just too bad that their teams can't help them along the way.
Yeah, like man, Luka's been the last 2 years 28, 8-8, like a breeze. Like he only 21, so you thinking, man, you got a decade of that level. I mean, that's
I love Luka, man.
Like his efficiency is going up. I mean, I want him to get to about 80% from the free throw, but everything else is going up. And of course, nobody's gonna be a complete product. I mean, even him on the defensive end, he can give a little more effort and stuff like that. But offensively, he doing everything.
He's doing everything else. Shit.
On defense, we need some defensive stoppers out here. But the Mavs could be a team that they got. Porzingis has been iffy health wise, so
just put Luka and Zion on the same team. Can we do that? Yeah. Like that's probably better.
Like Luka needs just somebody more reliable to run with him, so he can really make an impact on. MVP on the MVP side, because he's gonna get the numbers. It's just the winning side. You need some help along the way. Too bad Pelicans wouldn't do it, but I just trade the farm for Zion and just put Zion and Luka together, man. Because you know as well as I know that if nobody else comes to Dallas, nobody goes to New Orleans. Like what's going to happen? What's going to happen for those 2 guys? Like are they going to be more Dame like where they have to fight just to make the playoffs? Like that's what it looks like to me. Like I don't see New Orleans getting any better. Like you talk about things can happen, but if you're not getting Bradley Beal or Russ to come to New Orleans for some reason next year, like I don't see New Orleans making any impact. Like I don't know if Zion is going to be great enough to propel a team. I know he's young. So he's 21 years old. So, but can a Zion like propel a team to the playoffs? Because Anthony Davis couldn't do it. Like consistently, so because they big men, right? So, man, that's tough. And even played 100 games. So I don't even know what to really judge.
That's true. That's true too. Like, that's true too. Yeah. So it's
like he didn't play 82. He didn't play one. I think he had like 70, 72, 73. He didn't play 82 years. I can't even really judge. Yeah, he getting numbers. He doing this thing, but I can't even really fully assess him.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Like he been going crazy numbers wise. I mean he kind of having like a Shaq-esque impact, just not on
the winning side.
The winning side.
Somebody get my boy Penny Hardaway real quick. He need a penny to his Shaq. So as far as efficiency, he's one of the best players right now in the league doing that right now. So
yeah, come
crazy,
on,
bro.
Everything,
crazy.
Everything layups and dunks, you can't stop it.
Can't stop it. So hopefully the Mavs and the Pelicans help out because those two players, man, are too great at this young age, and you know you gotta do everything in your power to keep them happy and keep them winning because just like Anthony Davis, he gonna get out of there. Like, you know what I'm saying? He gonna get out of there. So you need to do everything you can and try to keep him there. So let's move on to the East side, man. Just to harp on the same type of players you're talking about. I feel like guys like Zach LaVine need just need love. Like him scoring 50 points was nice. Julius Randle been balling all season. The Knicks might make the playoffs this year. Like it's crazy right now that they probably will.
Man, Bulls are disappointed. They're just gonna start with that.
Oh hell
Bulls
yeah!
Bulls that made the trade and started getting worse. I thought they got the All-Star and get better.
They got two All-Stars on their team now.
Like go over 500, but they've been regressing. So I mean, that's so far it's disappointment. Like we can probably judge them more next year. I mean, because they still in play-in position right now. Hopefully they don't let the Raptors catch them. I was telling everybody the Raptors gonna be bad this year. Who would you?
Okay, so who would you rather have? I mean, I really rather have the Pacers get out of here because they not. If like I mean, I love I love consistency teams, but like I'd rather see Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal.
Yeah, I'd rather Beal them get to the play-in than some of the other teams.
Yeah, so I really hope the I love Vucevic, but I hope they miss it. I hope Wizards get in there instead of them because I'd rather see Russ. I'd rather see Bradley Beal because the way they're playing this year together, it's fun to watch.
Yeah, I feel like it'll scare people. It'll scare teams more, and it'll just be more exciting television product.
Oh yeah. Definitely scare you more. Definitely scare you more.
Like Pacers are a solid team. I mean, but this ain't been the year for them.
No.
I mean, I know they haven't had Karras. You basically traded Depot for nothing. To a certain extent because Karras only played a couple of games. So
right.
Maybe next year the Pacers could be back to where we normally see them at, and I'm not going to underestimate the Nate McMillan release either.
That's why they're sorry. That's their fault. They should never get rid of. I get it. I get you.
The
Hawks been hooping. Hey, the Hawks have been balling for real. Like, what else does Nate McMillan have to do to prove to y'all? Like, he's like top 20 in wins all time coaching. Like, why would the Pacers get rid of that? Like, it's different to me, Rashad. To me, if you had a superstar, right? If you had Giannis. And you kept losing first round, right? Or you have Kevin Durant, Jay Harden. You can't lose the first round. Y'all boys gave this boy Brogdon, Miles Turner, Sabonis, and said, "Go win a championship." What?
And like Pacers had never been like the go win a championship type of team. Like, yeah, with Reggie Miller, they made 6 East Finals, but like they've never been like the perennial. We gonna be in that spot.
That's crazy, bro.
They always been like a tough team, but man, they
unrealistic.
Nate got this job in Atlanta. Nate 15-5. Nate on the grind.
that boy Nate got the Hawks the 4th best team. When you say who the best team in the East, Sixers, Nets, Bucks, Hawks. that's 4. Like you gotta say Hawks 4 right now. They're in the 4th spot right now. And that's crazy. I mean, obviously, it's by a few games, like a game and a half, but that's not the point. The point is 15-5 since they made that firing, and Nate McMillan is brought up. So just for that, Pacers, I hope you lose the rest of your games. Hawks, I hope you win. Hope Trae Young can stay healthy. That's their problem right now. Is Hawks is staying healthy. John Collins missed games. Gallinari missed games. Bogdanovic missing games. Capella was missing games early. Hunter missed games. Cam Reddish ain't been back. So if the Hawks. We haven't yet to see a full Hawks team. That's the thing. Like that's the whole thing I'm saying. Like we have yet to see a full Hawks team, and what can they really do? So with the guy who deserves respect, like Nate McMillan, they're listening to this guy, and look, they're winning. So what do you think is gonna happen now? They're gonna continue to listen, continue to get better, continue to grind out games, and continue to win games. So, hey, the Hawks should be there, man. That's pretty good. Shout out to Trae Young, man, because they were looking a little iffy for a little minute there.
Like this year in the East, you should be aiming for that 4 or 5 spot because like you're basically playing for a playoff bonus. Because if you get one, if you draw 1, 2, or 3, Hey, you don't want to see Sixers, Nets, and Bucks first round. You know,
No.
you out of there in 5
You outta there.
games probably.
You out of there.
So I mean, at least at the 4 or 5, you can get you some playoff experience, some playoff bonuses. You know, you can kind of be on the radar a little bit more. Like if the Hawks were to advance to the second round, that'll be good for Trae Young. That'll kind of put him in that atmosphere of like, okay, you know, him and Luka traded for each other. He can start maybe being a perennial all-star then because he made the playoffs. You know, it'll kind of put him on the map in, you know, other people's mind. But then you got the Heat right there at 5. You know, people expect the Heat to do big stuff again like they did last year. I'm
about to say, who would you rather for that playoff purposes? Would you rather have the Hawks be the 6th seed then, like, and at least get the taste of the playoffs and just go home and lose? But like, would you rather see Boston and Miami advance because they're a better team? You know, at least history wise. I mean, Boston been struggling too, but you know, we definitely want the Heat to be the 4-5. Like that's a team that shouldn't have to face the Bucks, Nets, and Sixers first round.
Like the Hornets still remaining.
That's crazy. Hornets is doing this without Hayward and LaMelo, bro. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me.
Like for my own intrigue, I want to see the Celtics get to that 6th spot and play the Bucks because like I feel like that's a better matchup that you could actually have the thought of that this 3 seed could get bounced.
I feel that's fair.
So like, because like, you know,
in that case,
I don't really like chalk.
I about to say in that case, I want Knicks to be the 4-5 and play Atlanta, and let Heat play the Nets and defense versus offense. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like as far as exciting, Miami versus Brooklyn. Ooh.
Like for intrigue, there's a lot of stuff I want to see. Like let's say we're gonna lock in. If we're gonna just go by the standards today, we're gonna lock in Nets at the 2. I want to see Knicks get to that 7 just so people can actually get that little New York battle that they ought to be, you know, clamoring for. You know, something like that.
Boy, Randall going over 40 tonight.
Yeah, so something like that. You know, I want to see people kind of get certain stuff for intrigue. Like I feel like New York ratings will be off the charts if you got like a Knicks Nets matchup.
Yeah.
Or like if you get Bucks Celtics in a 3-6, that'll be a good matchup for both teams. Both teams that thought they could win it, and just for, you know, the Celtics are having a really tough time this year. So
they struggling. Yeah.
So I feel like they may feel rejuvenated just to get into that matchup to play against a Giannis. I don't know how they'll establish because they don't have no true big, but you know it'll be an intriguing kind of matchup. Now Hornets, I don't know who I want to see Hornets play. Like Hornets might need to get into that 4 or 5 and play somebody.
Play the Hawks. Hornets gotta play the Hawks, bro.
It's like we'll need the Heat to kind of come down to play somebody to make it more interesting for them. But I doubt it goes that way, man.
Yeah.
But, like whoever gets the 8 seed, I don't know who can have an intriguing matchup.
7 or 8 because you got the Nets and the Sixers probably gonna flip flop to the end of the year. So you, like you said, you get 1, 2, 3. You most likely going home.
For the 8 spot, that's where you want to see like
Wizards.
At least it'll be exciting.
It won't be. You ain't sweeping. You're not sweeping Russ. I don't care. Brad, Russ will get one. They will get one. They'll get one. So that'd be pretty cool. But to talk about to deep down, the same way I feel about Chris Paul, I feel the same way about Jimmy. Like you said LeBron the most like valuable. I feel like Chris Paul number 2. I feel like Jimmy, to me, since his resurgence, you know, the year he left Chicago, went Minnesota, Miami, like I feel like the last 4 or 5 years that you can say Jimmy Butler, just because when he was out, what we say about Miami? Oh, this team sorry. Like last year was a fluke. Like this team ain't nothing. Like then all of a sudden he coming back. Oh, Hero, that problem again. Bam, that man. Duncan Robinson don't miss. Like here we are talking about the Heat again. Like even the trade for Depot, which they traded Bradley, who didn't play this year. They traded Olenek, who was, you know, it was solid role play for them. But
solid role play.
So right now they're really not missing anything, and Depot still hurt, of course. But if he was to come back healthy, this a problem. This is a team who can push the Bucks and the Nets and the Sixers to the brink. So I feel like Jimmy Butler deserves a lot of MVP recognition as well in my list, just because it's like if you see the record, they was like 3-10 or something like the crazy number without him. They was down bad, and now they're 3 games above. You know,
and some of that was COVID too, COVID restrictions too.
Right. So yeah, I think missing Jimmy Butler for a long stretch of time, and now him back, like you can just see the impact that he brings to the table. So you know, in my mind, if you know we talk about the Knicks, Julius Randle been balling, the Wizards. We talk about Celtics with Tatum and Brown, but we talk about the Heat, like I feel like they're a better team than all those teams right there, but they play great defense and they have the ability to stop you and score with their best 2 players being two-sided. I feel like Bam and Jimmy Butler are both 2-way stars. So I like the Heat a lot. I think Jimmy Butler should deserve like MVP praise as well.
Because of games missed and stuff, I can't throw Jimmy in the MVP
Yeah,
race.
that's fine.
But I'll throw him in like, you know, a player that is very impactful. I feel like, you know, it's like I said, LeBron 1, Chris Paul 2, and then I'll say Kawhi, Jimmy 3, 4, like impact on winning wise. Because Kawhi kept the Spurs way more competitive than they were really. And then he goes to Toronto with the title, now with the Clippers, and potentially making a push. And of course, Jimmy, what he did with Chicago, Minnesota, Philly, and now Miami. So you got to throw those. I think it's like the top 4. The Heat could be a dangerous team depending upon what matchup they draw. I mean, 4 or 5, betting favorite would be them over the Hawks, and then they would push whoever they get in the second round. So whether that's Sixers, Nets, Bucks, you know, how it falls, they would push whoever they got in the second round.
Definitely, yeah. So I like them a lot. Yeah, I feel like the Heat probably the most dangerous. They're probably the most dangerous non-Sixers net Bucks team in the East. So like,
because coaching wise, they got Spo, one of the best.
So you're not going to coach them.
And player wise, they won't back down.
I'm about to say is he? I mean, outside of Doc Rivers, he the best coach in the East, right? Yeah, I mean him and Brad Stevens. If you want to debate those 3 and debate Thibodeau, so that's Oh shit, my boy Nate McMillan. Boy, I'm stop playing. My boy Nate up there now.
I mean, I'm probably go Spo is the best coach in the East.
Think so? Okay.
Spo and Doc. You know, depending upon preference, I'll probably lean Spo if pushed to answer.
Okay, I like that. Speaking of staying in the East, speaking of Doc Rivers, man, this team is number 1 team in the East. We're seeing Embiid come back. So you already said about LeBron, same thing. I guess applies to Embiid missing the games, but he come back and he ain't missed a beat. Like it's crazy. I saw they played Dallas the other night and they tried to triple team him. He got an N1. Like I was like, man, this man is his season that he's having is
he's an animal this year.
His season is Shaq 01 or 2000, whatever season that was. Shaq went crazy. Like this is the crazy thing is he will always score 30 points a game, close to it, because why? He makes free throws. Like he don't need 20 shots. Like he don't need 15 shots. Like he can go 9 or 10 from the field. He going 12 or 13 from the free throw line because you can't stop him. So he always going to be a 25 to 30 point scorer each and every year. It just depends on can he stay healthy, and that's the only issue that you're ever going to have with Embiid, because he has to be honest, bro, no weakness. He has no weakness.
Yeah, he can do everything. It's just his body, you know. And
yes.
Then you got, you know, his game is very versatile. It's just can he always stay on the court?
Right.
And granted, he's come back, he's dominating again, but the funny thing is he ain't came back. He gonna probably still miss some more games because they want to push it too hard at the end of the season.
Right.
So by games played, he's already out of MVP consideration. You know, before he went out, it was him and LeBron 1A, 1B. But now that he's missed the time, and you gotta still think they're gonna manage his minutes and games played down the stretch too. The last, I think they got 18 left. The last 18, he'll probably still miss 3 or 4 of those, maybe even more, depending upon how hard they want to push him. Just on games played, he'll be out of the MVP race. But I think right now, man, his all NBA first team spot is on the line because Jokic ain't missed no time. he balling.
There is it. Oh, that's crazy. Cause like, see, that's why they might go ahead and positionless, man. Cause to the fact that you got 2 of the best bigs in the league, and they probably if you're doing a quick ranking, you probably gonna put them above top 8 for both of them. At least for this season, they're both tops. They're both above Anthony Davis. So just for this season alone, just because he's not playing, so that's you're right. You're right. He might not even make first team All NBA. And that's kind of sad to say that, but you're right. Jokic has been balling out himself. So
like down the stretch, man. Like I'm gonna start looking at it. It's gonna be an interesting year because normally guys like Davis would make all NBA. He won't make it this year. And then you got to think about KD might be a third team all NBA, depending on how many games he get in, because he's still on a minutes limit right now. So I don't even know what team KD gonna fall on.
So
like even LeBron,
David,
KD
KD better not make a team. I'm thinking about it as far as because you can't leave Julius Randle off. You can't leave Jimmy off.
Like these games missed for Bron, for AD.
They got to mean for something, right? Yeah.
For KD, Kawhi load management. Like I'm just thinking about it may end up putting all these guys on the even playing field, honestly. Because they all wind up playing like the same amount of games. Like Giannis gonna probably be the only lock for all NBA.
So look, here you go. Giannis,
Harden, and Dame, the only locks for all NBA first.
Giannis. So here's just 4 positions that you can't leave off like this season: Tatum, Giannis, Randall, Jimmy Butler. That's already 4 wings, like 4 forwards. Like I don't think you can lead them off. Like Zion. And
outside of Randall, they all miss some time.
Right, Zion. You're gonna leave off Zion off this. You know, NBA ain't gonna let that happen.
Yeah, I'm gonna start looking at it, man. It's gonna be interesting because you got to take into account their numbers, games missed, team status, all kind of.
And I say is what I know. He probably missed time, so he probably won't make it. But we ain't talking about him all because he got the worst record in the league. But if it's just all stats and nothing else, you can't leave off Cat. like you couldn't leave him off. He's balling. Now he just they just are as hell.
Yeah.
But
he missed so much time.
He missed so much time. Yeah.
But normally when he playing, he gonna be all the NBA. That's a big man. Him and Gobert always be that toss up.
A quick talk about Giannis because you say he's on the lock. I mean, just everybody just go Google his stats, his MVP seasons, and this year. That's all you got to say for Giannis. So enough said. On that. That's what it is. But he might not be the most valuable on his team though. Low key.
Man.
Drew, my boy Drew, boy.
Well, Giannis, even for the MVP, his last 4-year stretch is
crazy,
ridiculous, man. 26.9, 10 boards, 4.8 assists, 27.7, 12.5 boards, 5.9, first MVP. Last year, 29.5, 13.6.
God damn.
This year, 28.8, 11 and 6. Like, dude the numbers are there. Like, he has a shot to improve. Free throws, I mean, he below 70%. I don't like that. But he's still giving you strong presence on the defensive side. The scoring is there. He don't really miss games like the last few, like his knee hurt.
Last few weeks, yeah.
But he don't really miss games. I mean, if it went for the season shutting down last year, he would have played almost 80 games again. I mean, dude's been playing
consistent, man.
He's been playing like 70 plus games every time. Like the season shut down early last year, he played in 63, and of course we got the shorter year this year plus a couple games missed. He's at 45, but he's gonna try to play 100% of the games.
I was saying he's gonna play 90%. Without question. So yeah, so that's all you gotta look about Giannis, man. He does a great time. So and then the last team before we got out of here, the Brooklyn Nets. It's just so hard to we always talk about KD and James Harden. I guess we probably should show Kyrie love. I don't like to do so as the president of the Kyrie Hater Club, but he's been balling out even though he got a lot of paid time off this season. James Harden been balling out a lot, but he got hurt. Kevin Durant been balling, but he also got hurt. So I feel like that you just disqualify the Nets as a individual, but as a team, they're still gonna be here. They're still gonna be a problem. It's gonna be fun when they finally get all together again and actually play games. We probably won't see it to the playoff time, but I mean, like I said, Kyrie been it's crazy because if Kyrie was the consistent, if he stayed and played all his games, then he probably been in the discussion because of Kevin Durant missing time and because Harden missing time. But we said this a while back. We said if Harden didn't go to the Nets, where would they be at? So I guess that's all we got to say about Kyrie on that sense. So your thoughts, I guess, real quick about the Nets, man. I mean, we already said Kevin Durant might not make a team. Harden a lot, but he missing the last few games, and Kyrie with all the paid time off.
Yeah, man. I think I'm just hoping they're not the Clippers of last year where we keep saying when they're healthy they do this, so they should do this. I'm not hoping they're not gonna fall into that little bag, but. Yeah. I still think they should be the favorite in the East. You got 2 of the 5 most gifted offensive players ever KD and Harden right there with Kobe and Jordan. So 2 of the 5 best offensive players ever, and Kyrie can't be underrated on his skill set. And Duke can get his bag is ridiculous.
It is.
It's just when he's not healthy most times. Like he always be injured, or if he's not injured, he's been taking some time off for personal reasons. Which I'll never knock anybody for doing that. We all have stuff go on with people have babies, they get married, sick family. You may just need a mental break. So I won't knock him for that, but when it comes to this game, that team, that is going to play a part in team chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
So, heck of a season by Kyrie. He's flirting with that 50, 40, 90 on 27 and 6. And, dude is phenomenal, but I think he's going to probably be the X factor for them. I think Harden, KD's the best player, Harden's the most important player, but Kyrie's definitely the X factor because, like I said, the closing 5, they're going to be out there. It's just who else going to be out there with them. Is it going to be a Joe Harris game, Bruce Brown, LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake, Jeff Green, Claxton? Like, I want to know DeAndre Jordan, depending on how big the body is. So,
shout out to my boy Claxton, man. He ain't got no love.
So I want to know like what they're gonna roll with matchup wise and in crunch time because guys got to stay mentally locked in on that. And you got a guy who's never been a head coach before, Steve Nash. Granted, you got D'Antoni over there, but Nash is still the head coach. So I just want to know how locked in they're going to be come playoff time and, like, how's that chemistry going to gel when you got teams locking in on you for these playoff series. Talent-wise, they should be the Sharpie then to win the East, talent-wise. But considering everybody's health, my boy Harden a little banged up now. KD's been a little banged up. He came back. Kyrie, he's always a little banged up, and of course, personal reasons for being out. You got a lot of stuff to take into account. So can they get there?
All right, so here we go. Last part right here before we get out of here. All right, you got 3 spots. You an NBA writer. You putting your MVP ballot together. Where you at? Top 3.
It's tough, man, because see, I want to put James Harden at 1, but I'm looking at the 9 games in Houston. They're gonna hold it against him, and now he's a little banged up. So like he would be my number.
So he's your number. That's fine. If it's your number, if it's your list, let it be your list. That's fine. I can live with that.
Like I try to look at how they're gonna actually vote for it.
Okay.
So like I'm looking at he would be the guy for me.
Okay.
But I think right now, when you look at all things considered of time missed, standings, reputation, all that kind of stuff, I feel like when it really boils down to it, the writers gonna probably vote for Chris Paul as number 1. I think it's gonna happen, man, because the Embiid games missed, LeBron games missed. Jokic got the stats, but I don't think people don't really see him enough. I don't think there's gonna be enough media people to vote for Jokic. So I'm gonna go Chris Paul number 1 as of today. I think Chris Paul can get it.
Hey, I'm gonna keep it Usher Raymond with you, man. I'm with you. Chris Paul, with all circumstances in play, Chris Paul number 1 on my list. And what you saying, that's the number 1. Like you can't sit here and say the Suns who haven't made the playoffs and how long? When the last time the Suns made the playoffs? At least 10 years.
They got in 1 year post Steve Nash when they had the Dragic, Bledsoe.
Okay, that team probably didn't make it. That one time.
Yeah, they made
one time
with Jeff Hornacek. Yeah, 1
year. That one time out of whatever years. So the fact that you here, the fact that you struggled the whole time, the fact that we saying free Devin Booker, the fact that we saying, oh man, this team never going nowhere, Monty Williams might get fired, the fact that we saying Ayton wasn't a good pick, he on PEDs and shit, all that, you all you did was add Chris Paul, you added Jay Crowder, boom, one of the best teams in the West, one of the best teams in the league. You got to put him. You got to put Chris Paul 1. And for me, like you said, I feel like Embiid will get a top 3 vote finish. I think Chris Paul deserves to be the 1. Embiid up there 2 for me, and then my third would have to go to James Harden, Mr. Bink.
Yeah, like I'm looking at what, like, my personal.
I cannot hold. I would not hold that Houston thing against James Harden. I can't do that.
Oh, but
I'm not gonna hold against him.
Like, I'm looking at what the media gonna do. The media gonna take the 9 games in Houston.
Right.
They're gonna say he quit on the team, showed up out of shape, was a distraction, all that kind of stuff. They're gonna take that. He's gonna miss a couple more games. They're gonna take that. So now you got the 9 games plus whatever you missed. They're gonna count against you. And then now Kevin Durant is back.
But
so they're gonna take all that.
But my thing is, where in the hell would the Nets be? My argument today is, where in the hell would the Nets be without James Harden? If Kevin Durant got hurt like he did and missed how many games? What, 25 games at least?
Yeah, he was out for a minute. So was Kyrie off and on a little bit.
So where would the hell the Nets would be at if they didn't get James Harden? He already has the most triple doubles in Nets history in less than 30 games. You can, as the NBA writers, you cannot hold that shit against James Harden. I'm sorry.
Oh,
you
they
cannot
will,
do
man.
it. They gonna do it, but you cannot do it. They gonna do it, but you can't.
Yeah,
and I think that's BS.
Harden's my guy, man. Like, even when he messed up, I'll criticize them, but it's like, I think he should be the MVP.
I would give it to him. You already cost him 2 other ones a long time ago, so you can give it to him. That's fine. I'm okay with it. I feel like Chris Paul, James Harden, Embiid will be my top 3 finishes in this thing, and I think that's what we can end it, man. So,
bro, the way the media set up, bro, I promise you, LeBron James is gonna finish higher than Harden in MVP race.
Oh,
that's just how they're gonna do it. And
yeah,
like that's just how it's gonna be.
And it's gonna be funny when Donovan Mitchell don't even be top 10 and he got the best record in the NBA. That's gonna be crazy. So,
Chris, hey, I'm not gonna leave him out, man. Like, my personal top 3 is Harden since he's back, Embiid, and then Chris Paul, and I would throw Damian right there. But how I think they're gonna vote it, I think they're gonna probably vote Chris Paul, Embiid, and Jokic at the top 3.
So we see we got 20 games left, less than 20 games left. We think Chris Paul, James Harden, Embiid, that's probably the big 3. But we'll see how they vote it. Stop! Don't be a hater, all the writers. Don't be hating on James Harden, because where the hell would they be at without James Harden? So
with Murray out, if Jokic start averaging a triple double with Murray out, they gonna
find a way. They'll find some way not to give to James Harden. Find some way to not give to Chris Paul. But those guys are deserving. So we'll come back next week, man. We'll talk about something else. NFL draft coming up pretty soon. We'll talk about that. Get to all that, man. So y'all stay safe. Wear your mask. If you worry about the pollen, make sure you wear your mask from the house to the car. Make sure you don't get sick. We want you out here sneezing and coughing on everybody. So y'all stay safe, and we'll see y'all next time. Appreciate Rashad. Yeah.